Hello everybody, Jennifer Maker here. It's a beautiful day to make some new friends. I'll show you how to make this adorable snowman lantern using inexpensive material. You can even add a cute scene in his belly so he looks like a snow globe. Now, my snowman lantern might look familiar because I made my original a few years ago, and I loved seeing all of your versions. Now, a few of you have asked me about how to make him extra special with more details, and I think adding some snow and a scene in his round little belly adds even more cuteness. It's easier than you'd think to do, and this is still a really inexpensive project that's sure to brighten up your winter. Now, this lantern is actually made from two vases. I used some round glass vases from Dollar Tree's floral section, so they're really affordable. Mine are just under 5 inches, which makes a nicely sized snowman. You can try other sizes, of course. Just make sure they're the same size and that they can stack one on top of the other like this. That's roughly the shape of a snowman, but we're going to use glitter, Mod Podge, and a foam brush to add the sparkle. I'll share some helpful glitter tips in this video too, especially about how to get even coverage without making a mess. And I'll show you how to use a circle of adhesive vinyl to keep his belly clear for our scene, right? Now, the preparation does take a few hours, so give yourself plenty of time for the Mod Podge to dry before adding your scene. Now, the belly scene is totally up to you. I use these cute figure sets, but you can use small toys, dollhouse miniatures, anything that you can hot glue inside. We'll use fake snow to cover the bottom, so it doesn't even have to be perfect gluing. And I'll show you how to add a string of fairy lights inside that you can turn on and off too. Now, we'll need to keep our bases together, so I'm going to show you a tip on how to use E6000 adhesive along with hot glue so it's nice and sturdy, but you don't have to wait a full day for everything to set. It's awesome. And finally, we'll add his cute snowman features and accessories. I have a free download for you, which has different faces and mittens that you can cut from adhesive vinyl using a cutting machine, like a Cricut, a cardstock top hat, so cute, and an optional paper bow tie. You can also swap the bow tie for a cute ribbon scarf if you want. Now, for tools, I'm using the Cricut Maker 3 cutting machine, but you can use any cutting machine that works with cut files. Some elements are a little too large to cut with the original Cricut Joy, but the Joy Extra will work just fine. Or you can also cut these designs by hand, of course. I'll show you how to put everything together using standard grip transfer tape for the vinyl elements and good quality craft glue for the cardstock. You can find all of the tools and materials listed right below this video. So let me show you where to get my free designs, and then we can start building a snowman together. Step 1. Get my free snowman lantern designs. First, download my free snowman lantern designs at jennifermaker.com/660. You could either download right from that link by saving the project, or download from my entire free design collection. To find it, look for Libraries in the red bar at the top, and then click either Get a Password if you don't yet have one, or click Enter the library. Search the page for design number 660 and click the link to download the designs. If you're not sure how to do this, visit jennifermaker.com/svgs to learn how to download and unzip files. In the download folder, there is a PDF that you can print then cut or trace by hand. But in this video, I'll show you how to prepare the SVG in Cricut Design Space for use with the Cricut cutting machine. The file also works with other cutting machines, or you can use a DXF file if that's what your machine uses. Step 2. Prepare your snowman design. On a blank Cricut Design Space canvas, click Upload and then Upload Image. Click Browse and select the SVG. On the Prepare to Upload screen, make sure it says Cut Image in the Design Preview. Click Upload, then find the design in Recent Uploads and add it to the canvas. The file has some different options for you. There are 6 snowman faces that you can mix and match, and 2 sets of mittens that you can pick from. We'll use adhesive vinyl for both of those parts. Then there are pieces for a cardstock hat, which hides the top of the vase's bottom, and an optional bow tie. I'll show you how to make the cardstock hat and bow tie, plus how to add a scarf using ribbon instead. Now you don't need all of these faces, so click Ungroup to work with the elements separately. I always recommend that you ungroup a design that you add to your canvas because usually it comes in grouped. First, pick the face that you'd like to use. I like the first one, so I'll delete the other ones. Then pick the mittens that you want to use. I'll make the ones with the snowflakes and delete the plain set. I'm going to make the bow tie, so I'll leave it here, but you can delete those layers if you'd prefer to make a ribbon scarf. Now, when I was testing how to mask off the belly viewing area for the lantern, I found that a circle cut from removable adhesive worked the best. And it's important to get the size of the circle correct, so put the bottom vase on your work surface. You can place a roll of masking tape on the table and lay the vase on its side to keep it from rolling around. Now look down on the vase and use a soft tape measure to record the height and width that you want to leave open in the belly. I want a little of the glitter to be visible all around the belly window, so a circle 2 3/4 of an inch in diameter will work for these 5-inch round vases. Your circle may be different depending on the vases you're using and the look you want. Click the Shapes icon and select the free circle to add it to your canvas. And with the lock icon at the top of the window closed, adjust the circle to be 2 3/4 inches in width or the size that fits your vase. The height will adjust the same amount because that closed lock maintains the proportions. We'll only use this circle for preparing the bowl, so you can use any color of removable vinyl that you want. I'll use the color box to change mine to white. If you want the bow tie to match the hat detail, select the grouped layers and use the color box to select the correct color. I'll pick the red under material color so I'm sure they match, and we'll cut on the same mat. And that's all there is to do. Make sure the correct machine is selected in the top right, and then click Make. On the Prepare screen, you'll have several mats with very small elements that will be cut from adhesive vinyl. You can put the small vinyl pieces on one mat to save time. I'm using removable premium glossy and holographic sparkle cricut vinyl for these elements, and found that they can all be cut using the same cut setting. But if you're using different materials, it's a good idea to test these out before putting them onto the same mat. But mine all work, so I'm going to move them all to the white mat. Now go to the black mat and click on the 3 dots icon on the face's bounding box. Click Move Object and select the white mat in the pop-up, then click Confirm. The face will turn white, but that's okay. Drag it all the way over to the far right corner so it's separated from the circle. Your Cricut will cut each shape right where the mat preview displays it. So you can put small pieces of different vinyls in the correct spots instead of swapping mats multiple times. Even though we're using small pieces, leave the material size at 12 by 12 inches so the Cricut will let you use the entire mat. Use the same process to move the carrot from the orange mat to the lower left corner of the white mat. And then to move the mittens one at a time from the green mat to the lower right corner of the white mat. Use the grid on the preview screen to determine the size you'll need of each vinyl to cover its element. I'll put a 4-inch square of removable white vinyl in the top left corner for the circle, a 4-inch square of black permanent vinyl in the top right for the face, a 2-inch square of orange permanent vinyl in the lower left for the carrot, and a 4-inch square of red holographic sparkle vinyl for the mittens in the lower right. With the combined mat still selected, so it comes up first on the next screen, click Continue. On the Make screen, set the material for your combined vinyl mat to Premium Vinyl Permanent Glossy and change the pressure to More for the cleanest cut. Now remove the protective cover from your green standard grip machine mat and set it aside where it won't get dirty. Using a pair of scissors or a paper trimmer, cut the vinyl shapes needed for your combined mat. Place each piece face up in the correct spot on the mat to match its design element on the preview screen. It's really important to get the correct material placed precisely on the mat so the designs go on the right colors and don't get cut on the mat by accident. And use a brayer to adhere each piece really well to the mat too. Now check that your premium fine-point blade is clean and in the clamp. Then press the flashing load button to load the mat right into your Cricut. And then press the flashing go button to begin cutting. The Cricut will move between the small vinyl pieces, cutting the correct shape from each one. This would take a lot longer if you kept the designs on separate mats, so this is a huge time saver. When it's finished cutting, unload the mat, flip your mat over onto your work surface, and gently roll it back to release the vinyl pieces. Use your weeding tool to remove the excess vinyl from around the vinyl designs. And don't forget to remove the insides of shapes like the eyes. Follow the same steps to cut the remaining mats. For the hat, I placed 65-pound cardstock on a green standard grip machine mat and cut the shapes using medium cardstock, 80 pound, with more pressure. For the hat detail and the optional bow tie, I placed 80-pound red glitter cardstock pretty side up on that same green mat and cut the shapes using the glitter cardstock setting with more pressure. If you have any trouble getting clean cuts, I have many helpful tips over at jennifermaker.com/blades. Step 3. Prepare your glass bowls. Place a piece of butcher paper over your workspace to protect it from the glitter and Mod Podge. Use some rubbing alcohol and a lint-free cloth to clean the inside and outside of the bowls, and remove any price tag stickers. A clean surface will help the glitter stick better. If the sticker is stubborn and on the bottom, place the bowl upside down and add enough rubbing alcohol to completely cover the label. Let it sit for a few minutes and then scrape it off with your scraper tool. Place your dry bowls open end up and pick one to be the bottom of your snowman. Put a roll of masking tape on your table and then lay the bottom bowl on the roll so the opening is facing you. Now carefully peel the removable vinyl circle off of its carrier sheet, just like a big sticker. And gently shape the circle like a taco with the sticky side out so it's easier to maneuver. Looking at the bowl from the front, place the circle inside with the sticky side facing the bowl. When the circle's bottom and top edges look close to where you want them, gently stick it to the inside surface, starting right in the middle. Carefully press the vinyl from the middle so it's smooth against the glass. Press the edges out really well so they are smooth as possible, because that's the section that will create the opening in our glitter area. If you have a few ripples, a little Mod Podge or glitter might get into the opening that you're trying to keep clear, but we can clean up any imperfections later, so don't stress too much about that right now. Dip your small foam brush into the Mod Podge and start by spreading it around the inside's bottom. Then use even strokes to evenly cover the sides, starting at the bottom and working up to the rim. When you're working near the vinyl, spread the Mod Podge from the vinyl out to the glass and keep it from seeping underneath, which is more likely if your brush strokes go toward the vinyl's edge instead of away from it. When the glass is evenly coated, lightly sprinkle the glitter inside the bowl. Twirl the bowl to work the glitter around and cover all of the Mod Podge. I found that chunky glitter creates a more even coating than fine glitter, but you can experiment with different kinds to get the result you want. I, however, preferred chunky glitter. Once everything is covered, shape a piece of scrap paper into a funnel and put it into the glitter container. Then just pour the excess glitter through the funnel and back into the jar for future use. If any glitter got onto the butcher paper, make it into a funnel to pour it back into the container too. Repeat the process for the top vase, but without the vinyl shape. Set the bowls aside to dry, and we'll work on the design pieces. I let mine dry overnight, but a couple of hours is enough. Step 4. Add your snowman belly scene. We're going to use E6000 adhesive, which requires good ventilation. So remember to open a window or turn on a fan before you start. Once the Mod Podge is dry to the touch, carefully reach inside and peel away the vinyl mask. If any Mod Podge or glitter is in the clear area, use your lint-free cloth and rubbing alcohol to carefully remove it. You can also use a cotton swab to clean the edge perfectly if you want to. Now plug in your hot glue gun so it can heat up. Experiment with your figures to create a scene that you like inside the bottom bowl. Make sure you look at the scene through the clear area to see how it will look at the end. Once you're confident of the figure's placement, use hot glue to attach the figures to the bottom of the bowl. You can use plenty of hot glue to really secure the figures because we're going to cover it with sparkling snow. Hold each piece in place until the glue sets. Once everything is in place, make sure none of the figures will move. Now sprinkle in some bagged snow to cover the bowl's bottom and any excess hot glue. Unravel your LED fairy lights and test them to make sure they power on. Loosely wrap the lights around your hand to create a loop about the same diameter of the bowl's largest part. Keep the battery pack hanging down a little bit. Now we want the lights to stay in the top bowl so they don't interfere with the scene in the bottom. So make the loop large enough that they won't slip down. Place the fairy lights inside the top glass bowl and leave the battery pack hanging out the back. Apply E6000 glue around the upper rim of the bottom bowl. Don't worry too much about perfect glue lines because the scene will be covered with the bow tie or the scarf. Put the cap back on the E6000 glue and carefully turn the upper bowl over so the lights stay inside and the battery pack hangs out the back. Lower the top bowl onto the bottom one so it touches the glue all the way around. And remember to leave that battery pack hanging out the back. Don't forget that step. Now, the E6000 glue can take up to 72 hours to fully cure, but you can keep it working with the help of hot glue. So hold the vases together and add hot glue around the seam to keep them in position while the E6000 cures. Hold them in place for a minute or two while the hot glue cools a bit. Then set your glass vases aside to dry for a few minutes more. Step 5. Assemble your snowman lantern. First, we'll assemble the hat. Here are the hat pieces. The piece with the tabs in the middle is the brim, the rectangle is the side, and the one with tabs to the outside is the top. Place the hat's top face down and fold the tabs up. The creases should start and end right where the tabs meet the main hat portion. Add craft glue to the outside of 4 tabs in a row. With the hat top face down and the glued tabs facing you, place the side rectangle so a long edge touches the table and the short edge is on the first glued tab, and press it on to the next few tabs. Hold them in place to dry. Once those tabs are dry and secure, add glue to the next 4 tabs and continue the process. The rectangle will start to curve around the hat's top. When you're securing the last tab, hold it in place to really dry since this spot will want to open up the most. Add a little glue under where the side's short edges overlap and hold that in place to dry. You don't want the hat to pop open on you. Place the brim face up and fold the inner tabs so they're perpendicular to the brim's surface. Just like the top, the creases should start and end right where the tabs meet the main hat portion. Lower the tabs into the hat's bottom to make sure they're all folded correctly and will fit inside, flush against the curved sides. If any tabs don't seem to sit correctly, refold them and try again. And just like with the hat's top, add glue to 4 brim tabs where they'll meet the side of the hat. Lower the brim's tabs into the hat so the surface is flush with the curved paper. Hold the first tabs in place to dry against the hat side. Once the brim is secure on those tabs, you can reach inside to pull the next 4 tabs up and add glue to where they'll touch the hat, and press them back into place. Continue lifting and gluing the tabs until the entire brim is secure. When everything is glued, you can give the hat some interest by running the brim between your fingers and gently sloping it up and down to create a slight wave. Take the hat detail piece and place it on the hat so a short edge matches the seam and the long edge touches the brim. Check how far up it will go on the hat and then add some glue underneath the first inch or so. Press the short end in place until it's dry and secure. Gently curve the detail around the hat until the short end is back at the beginning of the seam. Now, textured paper can be hard to secure, so put on your finger protectors, then add hot glue where the detail will overlap at the beginning and hold it in place to set. And then let the hat dry completely. Now let's add the scarf or the bow tie. We need to cover the seam between the vases, and there are two options I like: a scarf made of ribbon or the cardstock bow tie. Let's try the scarf first. Place the roll of masking tape on your work surface. The hot glue should be set enough to hold the vases together, even though the E6000 is still curing. Just be very gentle moving the snowman. Gently lower the assembled snowman onto its back so the belly is face up and centered, and the top vase is held in place by the tape roll. Wrap the ribbon around the snowman's neck to see how long it should be to tie a knot and look like a scarf, and then cut it. I used about 30 inches of ribbon, but you can always trim it. Now, without jostling the vases, carefully tie the ribbon in a knot. Rotate the knot to the side and adjust the tails to look like a scarf. And then trim off any excess ribbon. Now, if you prefer to use the cardstock bow tie, set up the snowman the same way on the masking tape roll. Make sure your hot glue gun is on and put on your finger protectors. Place the main bow tie piece face down and bring one short edge to the middle. Hot glue it in place. Secure the other end the same way. Wrap the small rectangular piece around the bow's middle and hot glue it in the back. Wrap the neck piece around the seam between the vases so the gap is centered in the front. Don't worry, the bow tie will hide it. Hot glue the ends in place on the vases. Then use hot glue to secure the bow tie on the band, covering the gap. Hold it in place to set. Now let's add the vinyl details. Set your vinyl designs face up. Cut a piece of standard grip transfer tape slightly larger than the face design. Remove the backer from the transfer tape. If you have any trouble, use your weeding tool to poke a corner of the tape and pull it up. Hold the transfer tape sticky side down and curve the edges up into a taco shape. Lower its middle onto the nose piece on its carrier sheet. Lower the rest of the transfer tape down onto the vinyl, using your fingers to smooth it out from the center outward. Use your scraper tool to burnish the vinyl onto the transfer tape so it adheres really well. You can flip it over and burnish it from the back too. Lift the transfer tape to peel the nose off of its backing. Use the same process to align the nose over the face design and burnish it so we can apply both colors at once. But leave it on the backing sheet for now. Now we know how much of the upper vase is covered by the scarf or bow tie, but you don't want to place the vase too high either, or else the hat will cover the face or obscure it. So gently place the hat on the top bowl to see how much it covers. You can balance it in place or set the hat aside. Lift the vinyl and transfer tape off of the backing sheet. Make small cuts around the edges of the transfer tape and just slightly in between the vinyl pieces. These little cuts will help evenly apply the vinyl to the curve of the vase. Gently fold up the edges of your transfer tape like a taco so the face's middle is at the bottom. Using the scarf or bow tie and hat for reference, place the face onto your top glass vase directly above the opening in the glitter so it's centered. And then gently press the vinyl into place on the vase. The cuts that you put into the transfer tape will let the pieces overlap if needed to mold to the curved bowl. Now gently burnish the vinyl to the glass with your scraper, then carefully pull away the transfer tape. It might tear because of the cuts, but that's okay. Use a fresh piece of transfer tape to add one mitten to the side of the belly window so the fingers point toward the middle. Then use the first mitten as a reference point to add the second mitten right across the window. Now let's add the hat. Carefully lift the snowman up, and then use hot glue to secure the hat to the top face. Step 6, show it off. Here is our finished snowman lantern. Isn't this really cool? I love how you can see the cute scene inside of his belly. This is such a fun project. Step 7, customize your snowman lantern. If you love this project and want to customize it more, I have a way you can do that through my advanced program. You can get an exclusive toolkit that I made and learn how to add super cute details to the hat with a special step-by-step video. The advanced program helps you to advance your crafting skills by teaching you how to make these popular designs unique and special through tutorials and templates, as well as give you advanced access to my vast library of designs, projects, and resources. Now, I may or may not be accepting new members into the advanced program at the time you're watching this video, but if you're interested, go to jennifermaker.com/advance to learn more and see how it all works. Isn't he just so cute? I love the little scene and the snow in the belly. It really adds an extra touch of fun. What do you think you'll put inside your lantern? I hope you will show me. I love to see your photos. Remember, you can get these free designs on my blog post, along with links for all of the tools and materials. And remember, if you want more options for the snowman's hat to really customize it and make it special, be sure to visit jennifermaker.com/advance to learn more. And if you're watching, thinking about getting a Cricut cutting machine, just know I give one away every month at jennifermaker.com/Cricut giveaway. These cutting machines are super useful, and I'd love for you to have one too. That's why I've been buying and giving a Cricut away every month for years now, so that others who need one can get one too. So enter the giveaway and good luck. And do you have more snowman accessory ideas, or you want to see how others have decorated their lanterns? Come on over to our Cricut Crafters group at jennifermaker.com/Cricut Crafters. It is a fantastic community of crafty, kind people just waiting to meet you. And that's it for today. Until next time, this is Jennifer Maker reminding you to craft a life you love.